When the Horn Devour clan Undying Fuwei communicated with his clansman Rikia, LuoFeng's team was still on their way back to their base. Within the C9 grade universe ship's resting cabin, everyone split the spoils of war. We've dealt with 20 sector lords and 1 Undying this time, there's quite a bit of loot. That fallen Undying left behind many treasures in his world ring. Taiwa laughed, simultaneously ordering, Wild Dance, you're in charge of checking, there shouldn't be any traces of the spirit imprint of that escaped Undying, right? I'll check. Wild Dance held the 6 world rings before him, checking them one by one. Actually, every time the spoils of war were distributed, the moment an Undying escaped from the enemy team, they would have to check. There were scanning devices on the battlefield. The spoils of war would be checked again. Hence the chances of getting hit were very, very low. However, no matter how one defended, as long as one had the intention to leave a trap, they would definitely get hit. For example, one of the sector lords that Taiwa's team killed had a huge background. That sector lord had some sort of token that belonged to his teacher. The moment he died, Taiwa's team wouldn't be able to recognize the token. However, the foreign battlefields were filled with danger to begin with, and death was a common occurrence. Very few experts would seek revenge. Hence the warriors in the outer region battlefield didn't really care. No problem. Wild Dance laughed. Alright, then let's split the spoils. Taiwa said, this time Madman and Poison's contributions were huge. Madman used up another precious medicine. You two choose first. Without Madman this time, I couldn't kill that Undying. Madman, you choose first. You choose. Luo Feng sat on the sofa holding a glass of wine and smiling. He was very relaxed. After splitting the spoils of war, Luo Feng and his team sat in the C9 grade universe ship and finally reached their base, returning to that broken star to rest. The team members all reflected on the battle, learning from their experiences, training and improving themselves in the virtual universe. Broken Star Belt within a broken star. The indestructible scaled creature, Fuchi, was sitting alone in the broken star. His eyes flashed with a vicious light. You made me lose 10% of my soul. Despicable humans, I will make you regret this. What's going on with Rikaja? I've already returned to my lair, but he still hasn't told His Highness Monwayne? Fuveza waited anxiously. As a vassal clan, the Horned Ravager clan was naturally much lower in status than the Goblin clan. Even if they were at the same level of strength, the Dragonsucker clan's experts had to be respectful in front of the Monster clan's experts. Not to mention Mengweiner was a member of the Royal clan, and his strength was stronger than his. Although he really wanted to kill that group of humans, he still didn't dare carelessly disturb Mengweiner. Communication. Fuyza revealed his fangs and smiled. Finally, there was a communication. Raikia, I've been waiting for a long time. You finally contacted me. Fuyza said happily. Humph. Among the many royal clans of the Goblin clan, the Serpent clan is famous for being sinister. Although I have some friendship with His Highness Monwayne, if I carelessly disturb him, it will make him angry. I have to be more tactful. Just now, His Highness Monwayne has already agreed to communicate with you. Raikia said. This is His Highness communication code. Receiving the communication code, Fuyza was instantly overjoyed. After successfully inviting His Highness, I will contact you. Fuyza said. If His Highness agrees, I will naturally follow. Raikia said. Then wait for my good news. Fuyza directly closed the communication, then narrowed his eyes and thought for a moment. He said in a low voice, the information I heard last time should be correct. If it's not wrong, then I have full confidence in inviting His Highness Monwayne. Immediately, Fuyza began to contact His Highness Monwayne's communication code, requesting for communication. A moment later. Who is it? The hoarse and deep voice carried a heavy echo, as though the voice came from a deep valley. This voice directly resounded in Fuyza's mind. Fuyza couldn't help but say to himself, although the Goblin clan can only communicate, they can at least simulate a normal speaking voice. In terms of technology, they are much more advanced than my Dragonsucker clan. If my Dragonsucker clan is slightly further away, we would have to use biological airships to transmit messages. We are much more backward than this. Mighty His Highness Monwayne, I am Fuyza of the Dragonsucker clan. Fuyza said. I believe Raikia has already introduced me to you. Fuyza? You want me to pursue and kill a human squad? The deep voice said. Yes. Fuyza said. Countless experts have fallen in the extraterritorial battlefield. Do you want to pursue and kill every single one of them? Is that still war? The deep voice contained anger. Speak. State your reason. His Highness Monwayne. Fuyza said respectfully. I believe that my clansman Raikia did not introduce that human squad in detail. Otherwise, Your Highness, you would not be angry but rather happy. The deep voice said softly. Speak. That human squad has 1 Undying and 9 sector lords. Amongst the 9 sector lords, 2 of them have Undying battle strength. Fuyza explained. 2 human sector lords with Undying battle strength? The deep voice was slightly hurried. Yes, Your Highness. Fuyza's scales within the broken star furrowed, smiling delightedly. Seems like his information was correct. Tell me in detail about these 2 human sector lords. The deep voice said. These 2 humans, one is a chemist, he developed a special medicine that complements a sector lord plant life form, ultimately allowing that plant life form to have Undying battle strength. The second human is a spirit reader using the Nanshan armament. He can actually use the 9th level, Undying can be defeated, and heavily injured my clansmen. Frieza said. Good, very good, very good. The deep voice was filled with excitement. Frieza, Dragon Sucker Frieza, from now on you are my friend. Of course, you cannot lie to me. Definitely not. Frieza said. I heard from Rukia that you can confirm their location? The deep voice asked. Frieza immediately explained in detail how safe his methods were. After explaining everything he said, I can clearly sense their location now. Where? The accurate universe coordinates are at. Frieza explained. Actually, the moment the item was too far away, even though he could sense the approximate location, he wouldn't be able to confirm the exact coordinates. However, the broken star belt was 0.8 light-years in diameter. An Emperor-level Undying could teleport through the entire belt. 0.8 light-years was too short compared to the universe. And LuoFeng's base was less than 0.1 light-years away from Frieza. His senses were much clearer, only then could he confirm the universe coordinates. That's within the broken star belt, where the human warriors gather. The deep voice said, we cannot take the risk to enter. Ah. Frieza was stunned. Your Highness, as long as we are careful. No. The deep voice said, we have to wait until they leave the humans' territory. We'll make our move then. Frieza could only reply, yes. But the communication was cut off. Within the dark broken star belt, Frieza sat crossed-legged on the ground, his sharp claws clawing at the stone ground, roaring, the Ziqian 10,000 snake race, vicious and careful. The rumors were indeed true. Looks like we can only wait. I believe the human team will leave their base soon. At least we've successfully invited this Ziqian 10,000 snake. The news I heard was indeed true. Within the demon race, there are special rewards for killing human geniuses. Frieza said proudly. Humanity's talent was generally weaker than the demon race's talent. Hence, human sector lords that could match up to undyings were extremely rare. Their numbers were few and far between. In the 7th battlefield of the alien battlefield, Army Camp 026, there were only a handful of them. And humanity's enemy race, the demon race, had special rules. There were special rewards for killing human geniuses. The Ziqian 10,000 snake race was just one of the many royal races of the demon race. Above them there was the royal race. Hence, Monwayne, as an unremarkable undying within the Ziqian 10,000 snake race, he didn't have much resources. The rewards for killing these two human geniuses was enough to make him extremely excited. Under the orders of the Ziqian 10,000 snake Monwayne, the two undyings of the dragon clan, Frieza and Rukia, headed towards the agreed-upon universe coordinates to gather. The three sides gathered. They gathered together and waited for the human sector lord team to come out. The moment they left the broken star belt where the human warriors gathered, they could make their move. It's already been 8 days, they're still not coming out? Frieza, your token wouldn't have been discovered, right? They purposely left it somewhere. Don't worry, they definitely won't find out. My token was hidden within a weapon unless they destroy that weapon. Unless they're going to go crazy and destroy all the spoils of war? Everyone be quiet, wait. The demon race undyings were like hunters, quietly waiting for an opportunity to appear. Broken Star Belt, LuoFeng's temporary base in the middle of the Broken Star Belt. This time we've rested for 15 days, 5 more than usual. Everyone should have rested enough. Taiwa stood up and smiled. The tall Mother Flame Clan hammer said with a thick voice, my big hammer has been thirsty for a long time. My points are still lacking a lot. Hypnotist Wei said, caressing the cat in his arms. The group of team members all stood up. After resting for so long, they were still in high spirits. After this half a year, I have a rough understanding of the battle patterns in the outer region battlefield. LuoFeng thought. I'm just going to follow the team for so long? The speed at which I accumulate points is too slow. If I was alone, I could definitely go hunt undyings, even stronger ones. However, without 1 billion points, I'm not free anymore. I have to follow the army's arrangements. LuoFeng thought within. Haha, last time we were able to kill an undying, I hope this time we'll have similar gains. Taiwa's eyes were like lightning, ordering, let's go. So, all the team members swiftly followed the dark tunnel and flew out into space. After that, they sat in the cheap C9 grade universe ship and once again began their killing spree. The human sector lord team has already departed. The undying scaled life form Fuwei shouted excitedly. Ah. Seated on the alloy chair was a man with silver skin, a height of 2 m, with a human body and a snake head, looking over. Beside him were 2 alloy chairs, one had a human body and a dinosaur head man covered in scales, the other had a human body and a rat head lady. Yes, your majesty Monwayne. Fuwei said respectfully. We've just departed, it should take a day for the universe ship to fly out of the humans' territory. Beside, another slightly taller undying scaled life form Lei Kuya said. No rush, it's still early. Fuwei immediately shouted, even if we depart now and fly over, it'll still take 2 days before we meet them. It's not too early to leave now. Ichim, then let's depart. The snake-headed man stood up, beside him the dragon-headed man and the rat-headed lady all stood up simultaneously. These three looked like they were made of alloy, similar to the liquid silver guards LuoFeng used back then. They didn't look like real life at all. So, one after another, the 5 figures flew out along the deep passageway. When they flew into the starry sky, the snake-headed man in the lead waved his hand, and a biological spaceship with a diameter of about 100 meters appeared in the starry sky. The spaceship automatically revealed a hatch. I really envy you all. The snake-headed man gazed at the two undyings of the dragon clan, Fuesa and Lei Kuya, sighing softly. Even though our bodies are small, we can easily sit in a universe ship. Like us demons, especially the strong within the demon race, it's very difficult for our true bodies to sit in a universe ship. Just like me, just for my body to be able to fit, I'd need an interstellar battleship. The dragon-headed man beside him nodded. For my true body to fit, it's the same. Actually, it doesn't just have to be the size of an interstellar battleship. And the cabin door needs to be huge too, otherwise my body will get stuck and I won't be able to get out. There are advantages and disadvantages. Beside, the rat-headed lady said. When the two undyings of the dragon clan heard this, they couldn't help but curse within. Fuesa was even more jealous. Natural advantages with such strength, it's just that it's inconvenient to sit in a universe ship. I want to be born with such a powerful body. Isn't it just a huge body? Wouldn't a puppet body be able to sit in a universe ship? Yes, they had a human body with a snake's head, a human body with a dragon's head, and a human body with a rat's head. These three bodies were puppet bodies, somewhat similar to mechanical puppets. And the three demon undyings' true bodies were too huge, unable to sit in the universe ship, hence they could only hide in the world ring. They let their puppets carry their world rings and ride in universe ships. The moment they meet danger, they can rush out from the ring. As for the puppet body, it was a very popular puppet body among the demon race that could be controlled through consciousness. It was made of alloy and had a consciousness receiver. By separating a strand of his consciousness into the puppet, he could control the puppet. The world rings in which their true bodies were hidden had long since been refined, and they could come out at any time. Moreover, they were all very weak world rings and the worlds contained within them were relatively small. Even if they encountered a special predicament, with the power of their true bodies, they could completely destroy the entire world and then come out. In short, his real body was hidden in the world ring and carried by the puppet body. It was still very safe. This was a very popular method for the demon race to ride in universe ships, avoiding many dangers. Of course, only the demon race warriors could afford to do this because the world rings were very expensive. I really envy the demon race's powerful bodies. Our bodies are so small, even our undying bodies are weak. Fuesa sighed within. If only I had a body as strong as Ziqian Wanxi. Rikia was envious too. The larger the body, the more advantage one would have upon becoming an undying. Because the moment a sector lord stepped into the undying level, one would be able to connect with the origin grounds of the universe, the ocean of laws. At that time, there would be an endless supply of energy that would instantly transform the sector lord's body into an undying body. This sort of free energy to transform into an undying body was a one and only chance. Some life forms were only 1 or 2 meters tall, transforming into an undying body. How much energy could they absorb? Some were as long as 1 or 2 kilometers. The amount of energy needed to transform into an undying body was naturally shocking. Like the space beasts, their bodies were over 1,000 km long. The amount of energy they absorbed was even more heaven-defying. Maybe in terms of pure attack power, it was only 10 times stronger, but the undying body's undying energy reserves increased by who knows how many times. Demon race Monwayne led the undying team, sitting on the biological ship, swiftly heading towards the direction of the human sector lord team. Time passed. In the blink of an eye, 2 days had passed. Within the biological ship's control room, 3 demon race puppets sat on alloy chairs. Your Majesty Monwayne, the 2 ships will meet in about 3 minutes. Fuesa spoke respectfully in the demon language. The human sector lord team's scanning devices are rather low-end, they can't even compare to mine. Much less compared to your Majesty, they definitely won't discover us. The snakehead Monwayne nodded and laughed. Very good, by the time these humans discover us, we won't be able to escape. Long Tuesday. Monwayne looked at the 2 subordinates beside him. In a while, the 2 of you and the 2 from the dragon clan, quickly split up and surround that human. No matter what, don't let a single one of them escape. Understood. The man and woman with the head of a dragon and the head of a rat replied. They only followed Monwayne because he was stronger than them, but they didn't need to be too respectful. After all, they were members of the demon race and in terms of race, Long Tu wasn't inferior to Monwayne at all. About to make contact, 60 seconds, 59 seconds, 58 seconds, 57 seconds, 56 seconds. Fuesa suddenly spoke. Fuesa Lei Kuya, I'll leave the mission of destroying their ship to you. Monwayne ordered. Yes. Fuesa and Lei Kuya replied respectfully. Humans? Monwayne's puppet body's eyes gleamed with excitement. Just over 10 million kilometers away from the biological ship was a C9 grade universe ship. Within the resting cabin of the ship, a group of people were laughing and joking. Luo Feng sat in a sofa in the corner. 3 demon race puppets? 2 undyings from the dragon clan? Long before that life form ship appeared within the 1 billion kilometers range, it had already been discovered by LuoFeng's scanning device. In terms of price, LuoFeng's scanning device was many times more advanced than the one Monwayne used. From the looks of it, it's coming straight from this direction. Its target is our team. That undying that escaped back then actually dares to come again. Looks like he's confident and has invited powerful helpers. Luo Feng squinted his eyes. 3 demon puppet bodies, the demon race, the puppet bodies they use are usually human bodies, demon heads, humph, even in their dreams they want to press down on us humans. Looking at the 2 dragon clan undyings' respectful looks, those 3 demon race should be undyings. 5 undyings. No wonder they were so confident. Luo Feng thought, just relying on Captain Taiwa and poison, they definitely wouldn't be able to deal with them. It's time for me to act. I've never killed an Undying in the alien battlefields before. The Undying from the Horned Devourer clan was a normal low-level Undying. Because of my help, I got 10 million points, poison got 90 million, a total of 100 million. Luo Feng thought, a stronger Undying will probably get even more. Killing a Sector Lord alone would give at least 100,000 points, at most 10 million, Luo Feng knew this long ago. And killing an Undying alone would give at least 100 million, at most 1,000 trillion, for an Emperor Pinnacle. The news of the 1,000 trillion had long spread throughout the army base. As long as one could kill a powerful Emperor Pinnacle Undying, they would get such a shocking amount of points. That was an Emperor Pinnacle. That would at least be at the level of Fantasy Spirit Emperor, Bloodthirst Emperor or Blood Demon Emperor. Powerful gods were also famous for being hard to kill. To kill an official Undying, one usually needed to have the strength of an Emperor. Killing an Emperor Pinnacle Undying? Difficult. Defeating was easy, sealing was hard, and killing was the hardest. LuoFeng's quota of 10 trillion would probably take a very long time to complete. However, the 1 billion that the army requested was much easier. 5 Undyings, I wonder if I can gather 1 billion. Luo Feng thought, let's hope they aren't all 100 million trash. Alert, attack. A piercing scream suddenly resounded within the ship. What? The team members who were still relaxed suddenly stood up, armor covering their bodies and weapons in their hands. Rumble. The powerful attack followed closely on the universe ship. Luo Feng and the group within the cabin felt a huge tremor, after which the cabin was sent flying. As for the C9 grade universe ship's cabin, it was as weak as tofu under the attack, completely smashed into pieces. Wah! The 4 cabin doors opened at the same time, the Sector Lord elite squad swiftly charged out in pairs, the Undying Taiwa casually stowed away the rest cabin. In space. Taiwa and the other 10 humans stood in space, looking at the distant 2 Undying scaled life forms. You actually still dare to come? Poison grinned and stared hard at the distant Fuwei-sa. Of course I dare to come. Speaking a piercing human universe language, the Dragon Clan Fuwei-sa grinned. Damn humans, you actually made me destroy 10% of my soul, this time you're dead for sure. Rumble. In the distance, 2 other areas suddenly exploded with incomparably powerful energy. This caused the originally confident Taiwa, Poison and the others to change their expressions. They all turned to look, only to see, in the distant space, 2 huge beings had appeared. One of them had a single horn and a dragon head, an Undying crawling being covered in scales, the other was covered in sharp spear-like spikes. Around its neck was a thin film that floated with the wind. Its head however looked like a cute mouse head, its eyes were rolling around very cute, however the killing intent within was terrifying. Demon Race. Demon Race Undying. 4 Undyings. Taiwa, Poison, Frenzied Dance, Guard, Hammer, Whirlwind, Succubus, God Spirit and Rock all had pale expressions on their faces. Luo Feng however gazed at the distant snake-headed demon clan puppet in space. It's over. The god's body trembled. No. The demon lady stared hard at her surroundings. Madman, Poison, Mad Dance, Guard, Hammer, Tornado, Demon Lady, God, Rock. Taiwa's eyes were filled with despair, communicating, this is the revenge of that Undying ghoul. He's seen our strength before, hence he's definitely invited enough helpers. Don't get your hopes up, I'll give the order later, the moment there's an opportunity, everyone scatter and flee. We have 10 people, as long as we're lucky, there's still hope for survival. Let's give it our all. Give it our all. Mad Dance grit his teeth. Even if we die we have to drag one down. Poison's eyes were filled with madness. At this time, a silhouette flew over from behind Fuwei-sa and Rikia. It was the snake-headed man. Your Majesty Mengwei-na. Fuwei-sa and Rikia replied respectfully. This scene made Taiwa, Poison and the others feel a chill in their hearts. My god, there's an even stronger majesty? Human. The snake-headed man stood in front of Fuwei-sa and Rikia with a smile on his face. His gaze swept past Luo Feng and Poison. Fuwei-sa had clearly seen their appearances for him long ago, so he clearly knew that even if he didn't care about the others in this group of humans, His Highness Monwayne would definitely kill Luo Feng and Poison with his own hands. The snake-headed man spoke in fluent human universe language. Congratulations to be able to die by my Majesty Mengwei-na's hands, and to be able to see my true body. Following that, the snake-headed man disappeared into thin air. At the same time, a huge snake that was like a towering mountain appeared in the starry sky. This huge snake was about 200 meters thick and 12 kilometers long. It was much taller than any mountain on Earth. The scales of the huge snake were green in color, and there were many ring-like patterns on the densely packed scales. There were tens of thousands of them. It had 6 wings all made of flesh. It had a single eye with a black pupil. Hong, when this undying serpent appeared out of nowhere, an unbelievable coldness instantly spread out over 10,000 kilometers, water appeared out of nowhere and flowed within the 10,000 kilometers radius. Following that, the boundless water within the 10,000 kilometers radius instantly froze, as though it was a frozen region. Even with Taishir's law domain resisting, the Sector Lord still felt a bone-piercing coldness. 5. Trevor's eyes were filled with despair. Stronger than the previous 4. Poison Pill also widened his eyes and gritted his teeth. It's really over. Everyone could clearly feel that the coiled-up Ziqian Thousand Snake was even stronger than the other 4 Undyings added together. Let's go all out, brothers and sisters. We've been living and dying for thousands of years and we've long thought about the day we fall. Even if we die, we can't let the enemy get what they want. Yes, kill. Even if I die, I have to drag one of them down. When seventh brother died, I knew that one day I would die too. It's here, it's finally here. At this moment, the team members, including leader Trevor, no longer thought about escaping. They only wanted to drag one or two more people down with them before they died. Do it. Monwayne coiled his body up high, his single eye coldly looking down at the 10 tiny humans. At the same time, he transmitted an order: leave those 2 humans to me. You guys deal with the rest. Yes. Boom. Immediately, His Highness Monwayne, the 3 immortal demon race experts, and the 2 immortal dragon sucker race experts all released their law domains and charged at the humans from all directions, either coldly or wildly laughing. Brothers, kill. Trevor roared. Kill. The team members were filled with despair as they roared madly. The 2 sides moved in an instant. At this time, an incredibly terrifying energy emanated from the human team. Almost immediately, it made Trevor, Poison and the others turn to look at the source of the energy. It also made Monwayne and the other 4 undyings look shocked at the source of the energy. Be it the humans, the dragon sucker race or the demon race, they all stared in disbelief at the scene before them. Before Luo Feng floated a water grass-like plant. It was completely golden and grew luxuriantly, with over 100 vines. Bloom. Luo Feng muttered softly. Like a small blade of grass growing into a towering giant, the water-like golden star-eater grass spread out in all directions at a crazy speed. Each vine of the star-eater grass grew thicker and longer, and the edges of the incomparably sharp blades were like saw teeth. Almost in an instant, it had become a true existence that could be called a giant celestial body. Every main vine was hundreds of thousands of kilometers long, and there were countless leaves on the main vine, which were used to entangle, kill, and devour enemies. The 100 vines made the entire undying Star Devouring Grass not any smaller than a sun. The fully expanded undying Star Devouring Grass floated in space, almost like an incomparably luxuriant water grass. Only this water grass was the size of a sun. Monwayne and the other 4 undyings were only tens of thousands of km away from the human team. Naturally, they were instantly engulfed by the countless blades of the undying Star Devouring Grass. Just like a little fish struggling in the water grass, how could they escape from the sun-sized undying Star Devouring Grass? My God. This is simply... Taiwa, Poison, Hammer, Whirlwind, Succubus and the others were all shocked. They had personally seen a golden water plant that was only half the height of a human expand in an instant, turning into a plant that could rival a star. That vigorous and terrifying undying aura made them all shiver. Undying plant life. This was an undying plant life. Plant life, this is an undying plant life. Fuesa's eyes were filled with fear. How can there be an undying plant life? Every single plant life is extremely hard to nurture into an undying. Even the lowest level ones have terrifying power and require a huge amount of effort. How can there be someone in the Broken Star Belt with an undying plant life? We're in big trouble. Looking at the countless blades of grass surrounding them. The one-horned dragon, which was covered in scales, and the rat-type demon, which was covered in countless spikes, were a little desperate. One of them was about 8 kilometers long, while the other was more than 5 kilometers long. If compared to humans, insects, and other living beings, they would be huge monsters. However, compared to the plant life, comparable to a star. The 100 vines spread out, covering an area of close to 1,000,000 kilometers. Even one of the blades was larger than their bodies. Star Devouring Grass, Undying Star Devouring Grass. Ziqian 10,000 Snake Monwayne circled around, wary of the large amounts of golden blades, preparing to defend at any time. However, knowing the origins of the Star Devouring Grass, it had no confidence in escaping on its own. This is known as the toughest attack-type plant life. It's incomparably tough. The moment one is trapped by it, even an official level Undying wouldn't be able to escape in a short period of time, much less me. I've met a human with an undying 100 vine Star Devouring Grass. Taiwa and the others gazed at Luo Feng. Ziqian 10,000 Snake and the other 2 demon undyings and the 2 horned dragon clan undyings looked through the gaps between the huge blades of grass at the distant Luo Feng. They all knew, the undying Star Devouring Grass was released by that black armored human. Luo Feng however praised softly, a blooming Star Devouring Grass, it's beautiful. To die under the Star Devouring Grass, it's worth it. Luo Feng said softly. No. The single horned dragon, rat demon and the 2 horned dragon clan undyings immediately screamed and roared, immediately going crazy. Their undying energy surged, all of them struggling. And the large amounts of golden blades of grass that were originally circling and not attacking, now seemed like a man eating flour, automatically pouncing over. A dozen of these blades of grass with sharp teeth attacked together, whether it was the huge undying demon or the horned dragon clan, they were all completely enveloped. Chi. The golden blades of grass that were completely tangled together were madly compressed. Desperately compressing. His bones were shattered, his muscles were torn apart and his body was completely destroyed. His body was directly crushed by the sawtooth of the golden leaves, which were like many sharp mouths, and was devoured and absorbed. This star-devouring grass naturally had the ability to swallow large amounts of plants, metals, rocks etc., even flesh and blood could be swallowed. Explode. The 4 golden blades of grass that were compressed together began to emit all sorts of sounds. There were even 2 undyings that chose to self-destruct in despair. Rumble. Rumble. Just a few golden blades of grass were destroyed, but one had to know that the undying Star Devouring Grass was formed from countless golden blades of grass, a celestial body that was comparable to a star. Just like that, the 4 powerful undyings were killed by the Star Devouring Grass. If it wasn't for the 5 undyings, I wouldn't even bother using the Star Devouring Grass. Using it is simply overkill, like killing a chicken with a butcher's knife. Luo Feng looked at this scene not surprised at all. One had to know that the undying Star Devouring Grass was considered an undying pinnacle level. Along with its toughness, even an official level undying wouldn't be able to escape in a short period of time. Being bound by countless blades of grass was indeed a terrifying thing. Luo Feng, the 4 foreign undyings have died, your points have increased by 400 million. Babata's voice resounded in Luo Feng's mind. What, only 400 million? Luo Feng couldn't help but feel helpless within. Down. His target was 1 billion points. He had to get 1 billion to satisfy the requirements of the army system, then he would be able to regain his freedom. This last demon undying called Monwayne is indeed the leader. He's so strong. My undying Star Devouring Grass is actually unable to completely suppress him in a short period of time. The other 4 are all at 100 million points, this one might be worth even more. Luo Feng looked over, only to see the serpent madly roaring, large amounts of water revolving around it, cold energy emanating, it madly twisted, its huge body infused with space laws as it lashed out. Immediately pulling away the golden blades of grass, he was actually unable to suppress it for a while. No. No. The serpent madly struggled, almost as though it could see the scene of its own death. Faced with the golden yellow leaves that covered the sky and covered the earth, the serpent Monwayne madly whipped its body. Every time it whipped its tail madly, it brought along the pressure of the universe, causing the golden yellow leaves in the surroundings to retreat time and time again. Some of the star-eating leaves were even shaken to the point of shattering. I can't escape, I can't escape. Monwayne was extremely anxious, that one eye flashed with madness. There's no other hope, I can only call for help, my close allies and comrades can swiftly rush over. I have to persevere until my allies and comrades arrive. Persevere. Call for help, we've encountered a human sector lord with the undying 100-vine star-eating grass. Monwayne struggled against the undying star-eating grass while continuously calling for help. Just like the humans, the moment the members of the demon clan called for help, it would swiftly be relayed to all their allies and comrades within a 10 billion kilometers radius. 10 billion kilometers was a relatively long distance, with 300,000 kilometers of light speed per second. This 10 billion kilometers would take half a day to fly, and LuoFeng's little team of sector lords had only flown out of their base for a little over 2 days. Using the distance of half a day as the radius of light speed, it spread out in a spherical area. How many allies and comrades were there? We've encountered a human sector lord with the undying 100-vine star-eating grass. This news was swiftly received by the demon clan and the many elite teams from the other clans. Undying 100-vine star-eating grass, going is suicide. Suicide? Who's going? Unlucky bastard. Pitiful. Who asked you to be so unlucky? Goo, to be able to have the undying 100-vine star-eating grass and still be a human sector lord. Looks like this sector lord's background isn't small, killing him should have a special reward. It's a pity one has to be alive to enjoy it. Goo, don't go die. The demon clan and the large number of clans under them, the many strong warriors of the other clans only sighed when they received the news. There weren't many who could afford to offend the undying 100-vine star-eating grass in the Broken Star Belt. However, within this area, there were still 7 teams rushing over. It should be a human genius. Within the ship, the man with a wolf head smiled. To be able to have the undying 100-vine star-eating grass, he should have some background. However, no matter what background he has, he's still just a foreign race. Haha, the stronger the foreign race's genius, the greater the sense of achievement killing him gives, the greater the reward. The man with a wolf head and a human body sat at the very top. Below there were 8 demon puppets. Below them, there were large amounts of demon puppets gathered respectfully. Evidently, the 100 demon puppets below represented the sector lord level demons. The leader of this team was very famous in the Calamitous Star Belt. He was called Kun Wolf Official, an official level undying. Even though the Broken Star Belt was filled with alien experts, official level undyings were still rare. Obviously this Marquis was afraid of death and didn't dare go to the more dangerous areas, staying in the Broken Star Belt. In the Calamitous Star Belt, this troop was definitely the overlord of an area. In the starry sky, within the star-eating plant that was as large as a star, the Ziqian Manshi, which was more than 10 kilometers long, was struggling like a small earthworm. Luo Feng watched as the Ziqian Manshi struggled for 5 seconds. He couldn't help but frown. This is troublesome. This undying 100-vine star-eating grass of mine is only comparable to an undying general pinnacle. It's slightly stronger than that Ziqian Manshi, and its advantage is that it's tough and hard to deal with. Even though it can restrict that snake, it won't be able to kill it in a short period of time. It'll take a long time to kill it. No. This Ziqian Manshi will definitely call for help. As time drags on, the demon warriors nearby will rush over. Even though the chances of them not being afraid of the undying 100-vine star-eating grass is very low. I can't take the risk. Luo Feng immediately made his decision. Relying on the Nanshan armament, I'm afraid it'll be very hard to kill an undying general pinnacle demon. I'll rely on the armor. LuoFeng's thoughts moved. The black armor on his body immediately transformed and extended, forming a helmet and perfectly fitting black boots. The entire armor was streamlined, the energy within the armor surged and filled LuoFeng's entire body. It was a total of 1,000 times a normal human sector lord pinnacle strength. It was enough to compare to an official undying body. Clang. A completely silver blade appeared in LuoFeng's right hand. At the edge of the blade was a blood-red blade. It looked like a blood shadow blade. A completely silver six-edged shield appeared in his left hand. Kill? LuoFeng's eyes gleamed coldly. Shio. Like a beam of light rushing out, he shot straight towards the distant Ziqian Manshi. Madman. Madman is a fighter? That is. Taiwa Hammer, Poison and the others who hadn't yet recovered from the shock of the undying star-eating grass were shocked as they watched LuoFeng's fighter stance, one blade and the other shield rushing straight over. A sector lord that can use the Nanshan armament to such a level, he's a fighter. Poison's eyes stared wide. He's a fighter. Taiwa said in a low voice, moreover it's a very powerful martial artist, even more powerful than him with the Nanshan armament. Just now Madman's instantaneous burst speed was extremely fast. In an instant it was even faster than my instantaneous burst speed. What? The team members were even more shocked. Countless golden leaves revolved. As LuoFeng rushed out he ordered, Planet Eater, use the leaves to surround and block the surroundings. My battle with the Ziqian Manshi, I don't want the captain and the others to see. Yes master. The undying star-eating grass communicated. Countless golden leaves waved, preventing Taiwa and the others from seeing the battle. Simultaneously, LuoFeng used his scanning device to seal the surroundings. He didn't want the battle to be seen by Taiwa and the others, to prevent more trouble. LuoFeng became a black blur and immediately rushed to the side of the Ziqian Manshi. Human. Monwayne was immediately overjoyed within. If you didn't have the star-eating grass, how could you be my match? You actually dared to send yourself to me. Immediately, a terrifying cold energy emanated outwards. Large amounts of water flowed about, sometimes freezing, sometimes flowing. The cold energy and water flowed for over 10,000 kilometers. LuoFeng immediately rushed in. LuoFeng's eyes were cold. Origin domain, what a joke. Rumble. LuoFeng's internal world projection immediately descended. 10,000 kilometers of space immediately warped, becoming an endless grassland. Even the Ziqian Mansh's origin domain immediately crumbled under the pressure of LuoFeng's world projection, completely dissipating. How can this be? The Ziqian Mansh's soul I was filled with shock. It let out an ear-piercing cry in the demon language. The world projection directly crushed the origin domain? Just how powerful was this inner world to be able to produce such a shocking Heartworld projection? Some of the golden horned beasts that relied on universe crystals to evolve to Sector Lord Pinnacle had an internal world of 30,000 kilometers in diameter. Such a huge internal world projection was already able to fight evenly with origin domain. And LuoFeng's current internal world was over 90,000 kilometers in diameter. In terms of size it was 27 times. The world projection's power had risen by a huge amount. Back when LuoFeng's internal world was 60,000 kilometers in diameter, it could only suppress the origin domain. Now it immediately crumbled. Let's end this quickly. LuoFeng was like lightning, descending immediately. Roar! The Ziqian myriad snake's 6 great flesh wings fiercely flapped, and its entire body suddenly darted forward. At the same time, it opened its mouth, becoming a huge bloody mouth with a diameter of several kilometers. It swallowed with the power of the laws of the universe, causing the surrounding starry sky to distort. This fierce swallowing. The surrounding space completely crumbled. Countless pieces of space were completely swallowed by the Ziqian Mansh's huge mouth. Like lightning, the black-armored LuoFeng felt the terrifying swallowing power. Die. The Ziqian Mansh's soul I was filled with madness. What a joke. LuoFeng squinted. His speed skyrocketed again as he turned into a black beam of light and charged towards the bloody mouth. At the same time he waved the Blood Shadow Saber in his hand. The moment the Blood Shadow Saber was waved, the surrounding space seemed to be cut open by a giant, and a huge crack was silently cut open. The blade flashed and traveled over 10,000 kilometers. The space was split into two. The beautiful blade flash was so eye-catching it made one's heart tremble. There was complete silence. The Ziqian Manshi still maintained the posture of opening its huge mouth. However, its eyes were filled with fear and unwillingness. Following which, the Ziqian Mansh's head split apart from the middle. The entire Ziqian Manshi was actually split into two halves. Large amounts of its internal organs flowed out. It had actually been split in two. Illusionary 7 blades. Dutchman's pipe. Clang. LuoFeng casually waved the Blood Shadow blade. Looking at the Ziqian Manshi that was split in two, to be able to take a hit from the Dutchman's pipe, you should be proud. At the same time, countless golden grass madly surrounded and immediately wrapped around the two halves of the body. Even though the Ziqian Manshi was split in two, it wasn't dead yet. However, the moment it was wrapped around by the countless golden Star Devouring Grass, the countless teeth madly slicing and biting, it had no chance of survival. In a blink of an eye, the Ziqian Manshi was madly devoured by the countless blades of grass. I rely on my armor to barely reach official level, and my origin law comprehension has long since reached official level. Luo Feng exclaimed within. Even though I didn't rely on the beast god conception to unleash the strongest of the 7 blades, burial, just the Dutchman's pipe is already an official level attack. My world projection completely suppressed it. One blade splitting in 2, that's only natural. The originally blooming Star Devouring Grass madly shrunk, immediately becoming a very small Star Devouring Grass that merged into Luo Feng's arm. Tai Wup Poison and the other team members were still in shock. South. Luo Feng carried the Blood Shadow blade on his back and flew over. Looking at Luo Feng dressed as a fighter, Tai Wup Poison and the other team members were still shocked. They couldn't help but shout, "Madman you! We'll talk later, that demon Undying is definitely calling for help, let's hurry and leave." Luo Feng said. "Jim, let's hurry." Tai Wup calmed down too. No matter how shocked the other team members were, they could only bear with it for now, swiftly entering the C9 grade universe ship and becoming beams of light, piercing through the skies.